I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about sneaky ways your ex's family can cause a breakup. Margaret, we have to say this a lot. People just don't seem to understand that oftentimes getting dumped has not so much to do with you and your partner, but the family of origin.
Yep, the partner's family of origin. And I'm going to say it again. When you're dating someone, you have to assess if they have separated in a reasonable way from their family of origin.
Yes, you do. It's critical because if they haven't, the family will run your life.
Absolutely.
Can I give a quick example before you start? You got an article today, but I want to give you an example of a girl that I did a coaching with this week. So she's dating this guy. They're both in their 30s. They're long distance. He's planning on moving to her. Mm-hmm. But then he says, you know what? I'm scared that my mom might die. Now, mom has no health issues. He's just saying, I'm scared that she might die.
If I leave her, she might die.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
So he says, I can't go. So she and him talk about it, and then she comes to a place where she's like, well, maybe I can transfer and come to you, and that I could get my job over there, and I could come there. Well, she was willing to do it, but when she said that to him, the first thing out of his mouth is, what did your parents say?
So he has no concept of even being reasonably separated from his own.
He's in his 30s.
And he's in his 30s.
And when she said it, we both started laughing. Because it just was a moment between us where we're both like cracking up about this.
Like this can't be real.
Because it was really the theme of the breakup was, I can't, did you tell your parents about this? What did they say? And I said to her, at some point I was like, he sounds like a 16-year-old kid.
Yes, and then sometimes you find out that people are delayed at an adolescent age. Today we're going to look at some ways that your partner's parents can affect your relationship. And I don't want people to think I'm dogging on all parents. I'm certainly not. But there are some families where it is more difficult than others to separate because parents, for whatever their reasons are or their deficits are, have a need to hold on to you. Mm-hmm. Okay? And some of this is kind of amusing. So please, we're lightening things up a tad. I hope you enjoy it. This person, the person who wrote this article, interviewed a Dr. Ben Michaelis, who has been featured in Women's Health, The Washington Post, Parents, Professional Matchmaker, and on and on and on. This guy is very famous for working on, what you have to work on in relationships with your partner's parents. First of all, there's the models of love they give. We learn about love from our parents. It's part of the authority that parents get. Whether we move towards the model of love that our parents provide for us or we move away from it, it's still their model that we base our assumptions on, which we were just talking about. He gave me 2 examples of how parents' love models have affected some of his patients. In one case, a young woman had been taught by her mother to think that she should always have a man in her life. Mm-hmm. This caused her to continuously be in relationships, even if they weren't healthy. Mm-hmm. In another scenario, a young woman was spoiled with gifts from her father as a child and expected her current partner to show his love in the same way.
So it's kind of like, what's another way of saying a model? It's not a belief, but it could be.
It could be a belief, yeah. A belief that this is the kind of behavior that happens and should happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So our parents model everything.
A blueprint.
For us. A blueprint. I like that.
Because we
come into the world, we don't know anything, right? So a blueprint, a model, sure.
A how-to guide, maybe?
Yes, a how-to guide that we have in our head.
Yeah.
And we pull those things out unconsciously often, like the t-shirt that says, I opened my mouth and my mother came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Crossing boundaries and lines of communication. That's another one.
So they're saying parents might cross boundaries?
Parents, these are things that can damage your relationship that are happening with your partner's parents.
Yep.
A major way that parents interfere in their adult children's relationship is by crossing boundaries and appropriate lines of communication, like reaching out directly to the child's partner to give their 2 cents about the relationship, or even getting other family members involved.
Or telling the parents calling the partner to say, you need to have them do this.
Yeah.
You need to have them do that, and then trying to make them guilt or manipulate.
That's exactly right. So anytime someone calls a family without your permission, if it's your family, it's a terrible boundary crossing. And if you have children, it gets even more complicated. All right? Being overly attached.
Yep.
Here they say, the monster of all monsters, the mama's boy. But there can also be all kinds of variations on that theme. And one of my least favorites is, my girlfriend and her mother are like that. Never a good sign. Beware of this.
Because guess who's running your life?
Yes. Okay? The worst way to interfere is when the mama's boy and the mom is just competing with the girlfriend. So your partner's parents compete for their attention. And will take it away from you if they can. Okay? And that means the parent has a really crazy need to be close to the person who's trying to separate and establish their own family. Okay? Forcing family expectations on your partner. I wish I could show you this picture, but it wouldn't show, would it?
No, it wouldn't
This
show.
is the most disapproving grandmother type you've ever seen. Or worse. Okay? Forcing family expectations on your partner. If your partner comes from a different culture than you do, or their parents are very strict about the family lifestyle and expectations, your relationship may be doomed from the start.
Yeah.
A lot of times I see this particularly when younger folks are involved with people outside their parents' group. I see that a lot too. Okay? People outside of their socioeconomic class, different race, different religion. You know, we can't do that because my family just would not be able to survive it. They're very careful about their family values. A younger person, 19, 20, 21, might be more inclined to give in to that than somebody who's a little older. Yes, it's racist, classist, and prejudicial, but the families don't necessarily see it that way. They see it as preserving their beliefs. And I've even known situations where I had this one particular case where the woman is telling me she doesn't get along with her parents at all. And they were very poor. She and her partner were very, very poor. And I said, well, how come your daughter is going to this impressive, expensive religious school? Because my father is paying for it. So she didn't make the decision as to what school her child would go to. Her father made it by buying it, essentially. Okay? And eventually there were all kinds of problems around that.
Wow.
Yeah. Pushing their problems onto their kids. That happens. And if you do marriage and family therapy, or if you do therapy with acting out adolescence, the first thing you're encouraged to look at is the child's acting out keeping the parents together. Because what can happen if a couple is on the verge of divorce, they have to come together around an acting out child. And the child will be able to tell you that they're doing that, believe it or not. I'll never forget a terribly difficult case I had, and I didn't know that then. And the kid said to me, you don't understand, I'm trying to do all of it to get them back together. So it was explained to me by a 14-year-old, as many profound concepts have been. Okay?
Wow.
So,
and that's really elaborate.
That's pretty
for
elaborate.
a 14-year-old to think about that.
Well, apparently not. It was right in her unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked obscure to me, but and I thank her for that. So parents can push their problems on their kids, and I've heard it several times in the last couple of weeks. My parents are getting a divorce. Okay, that's their decision. What am I going to do? Nothing. All right? You can be supportive, but that's all you can do. You can't take sides. You can't fix it. It's not going to ruin your life. It's up to them. And the other thing I've seen very frequently recently is that somebody is saying they can't have a relationship because one of their siblings is in trouble. My brother was just diagnosed with bipolar. My brother got into drugs. My brother got arrested, so I can't possibly have this relationship. I have to go to my family of origin's rescue. Not fair. Not that you don't want to help your family when you can, but your life should not be dictated by their problems.
No, not at all. You should be able to have a romantic relationship,
that's right,
regardless of what your brother is doing.
Yep.
Right?
And what you don't want to hear from your mother is stay away from people like your father. He's no good now.
Yeah. Because that implies you're no good since you
Yes,
came
it
from
does.
him too.
Yes, since you're half his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manipulating you with money. I have seen tons of that. And I talked to a woman not long ago who was telling me what a terrible time she had separating from her family. And she fell for it when they said they had bought a local house for an investment and wouldn't she like to move in? And I said, are they making it difficult for you to separate? And she said, well, come to think of it, they just offered my brother a house too. Yeah. Yet there are strings on the house. You know, you can see them if you look closely. There are little strings hanging off of it. Or I'll pay for your education, or any number of other things. And the line would be, as long as I'm paying for this, there are certain things you're going to have to do. No, take back your strings. Yeah. But if you're at the point of being able to say that, you probably don't need to listen to me. Families can make special occasions like holidays extremely difficult. Oh, are you bringing your girlfriend? Oh, I thought maybe you could come this year just by yourself so we could have a family Christmas.
Oh, God, yeah.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all heard that one. And he just doesn't fit in. He's not the same, this, that, or the other thing. And the last one is, and it is the last one, showing up frequently. You live together, for example. Your partner's mother might start bringing over food to your place every few days. Or their father might show up unannounced to fix a leaky sink he saw last time he came by. Somehow you just can't seem to get rid of them. They can show up at odd times. They can show up during quality time, which is really preventing the bonding with your partner. Why do parents do this? According to many people, it's because they're overprotective and feel the need to hover. They could want to observe your relationship, or they could want to prevent certain things from happening in your relationship, like frequent sex. So if you never know when they're going to drop in, it's a problem. Whatever their reason for hanging around, it is intrusive, and it can be extremely frustrating. Not feeling like you have enough freedom can be suffocating, and that can be enough to make you want to call it quits. For some parents, this is unconscious. For most of them, I have discovered it's quite deliberate. And there's a picture of a mother here I wish I could show you. And she's going like this, like, I've tried everything. You know, I've tried everything. She has her hands up. I've tried everything, and you still misunderstand my bringing you casseroles, you know?
Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of ways when you have a partner, their family can interfere with your relationship and unconsciously cause problems and even a breakup. It happens a lot more often than you would think.
Yes, it does.
And it's really good to be aware of it. Margaret has a lot of experience when it comes to this.
Yes, and one of the things I keep saying is when you're dating someone, you need to be concerned with their family. And most people, when I say, well, tell me about your partner's family, oh, they love me. Well, they love you as long as you're... And they love you as long as you're dating. But when it gets serious and, you know, you may want to leave them to go be with the partner, it can become a whole other thing. And if you get as far as grandchildren, you may have a battle royal on your hands trying to prevent the grandparents from telling you how the child is going to be raised. Some of the worst boundary violations I've ever seen were around that. So address it early.
Absolutely. And that is why you need to make sure you're with a partner that's individuated and acting like an adult.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coachings and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful to you, please call me.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.